The light fades with death's cold embrace. You've already been zipped and tagged. Struggle as you might, it will not help. No one can break out of the body bag. Here to oversee the autopsy, your hosts, Chris Thomas and Broke Rider Dave.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Body Bag Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Broke Rider Dave, and with me is Chris Thomas.
Good job.
And today we are doing hashtag Dave Hates Good Movies.
Why do you hate good movies, Dave? They bring so much joy to the people in the world.
Because some of the movies that people think are good just are not that good.
I know one of them that's on your list because you had just recently watched it.
Yeah.
But I'll be interested to know where that ranks.
This time I'm not going to put them in any particular order because some of these movies, it's not that I don't like them, I just think that Rotten Tomatoes has them really overrated.
So what was the stipulation that I gave you?
They had to be certified fresh, which was over 60%, I think we agreed to.
Yeah, so it has to be at least over 60% on Rotten Tomatoes that you just don't agree with.
Yeah, I think the lowest one I have is 74%. But, some of these movies, I think they're overrated. Some just aren't for me. Some are just bad.
Why don't we go ahead and get started with number 10?
First couple, which I feel are just overrated. Number 10 is 1931's Frankenstein.
Is that the original Frankenstein?
I do believe it's the original Frankenstein, and I get that it's a horror classic. It's a good movie. I agree wholeheartedly.
You started off by taking a jab at one of the most famous Universal movie monsters of all time.
Yeah.
And I guess I consider to be by many a classic. Go ahead. Why do you hate?
I don't hate the movie. I just think it's overrated.
No, you hate it. You hate this movie. Why?
It's rated 100%, and I don't agree with that. I feel like it should be high 80s, low 90s, along with Wolfman, Thing from Black Lagoon.
Well, let me ask,
in that range.
If I might ask, of movies of that era, what would you rank as 100?
Movies of that era?
Yeah.
I'd probably say, I don't know if I'd rank any of that era 100.
I'm not trying to be a dick and make you seem bad on the pod. I was just genuinely wondering.
Maybe Diary of a Madman, but that's 15 years later, but still in that classical film era.
All right.
Yeah, I just think putting it at 100 is just way too high.
You think do you think it's just over romanticized?
Yeah. Like I said, I feel like it should be in close to the same rating as Wolfman and I think Black Lagoon. So it should be between 88 and 92% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I mean, I'll go ahead and say that for me, when it comes to that, not that era, but I kind of have the same feeling when it comes to certain Hitchcock movies.
Sometimes they're just higher rated.
The Birds. The Birds. It's okay movie, but I don't know. That's just me. So I'm not trying to bust your balls or anything like that. Because again, I'm the same way with certain movies like that.
Yeah. And I actually rewatched Frankenstein for this list because it's been a while since I've seen it. I was like, I don't think it's 100. And I rewatch. I'm like, no, definitely.
It's all right, but
yeah, it's a good movie, but not 100%. And that takes me to number 9, 1935's The Bride of Frankenstein.
You just don't like Frankenstein in general.
Frankenstein's rated 100, The Bride of Frankenstein's rated 98%. Don't think they're that good of movies. When you're rated that high, I expect a perfect movie, storytelling, acting, and all. And like I said, they should probably be rated in the high 80s, low 90s. Maybe I should have lumped them together, but
it's your list.
Yeah. This overrated movies from the 30s.
This really is Dave. Hey, Dave hates good movies. Of all the movies that I would have thought were going to be, I did not think that you were going to put Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein on there.
Yeah. Really?
You know what movie also sucks is Citizen Kane. Citizen Kane sucks. I mean, terrible movie, Citizen Kane. Why don't we shit on The Dark Knight while we're at it? And
you know who was a terrible Joker? Heath Ledger.
Way too joking, obviously, for those who don't.
Way too believable. Yeah.
Joking for all of those who have no sense of sarcasm.
And
Number 8?
Number 8 is also a movie that...
The Son of Frankenstein.
No, it's actually not. It's a movie I think's okay, but extremely overrated. Because if I were to grade it, I'd give it like a 74. It Follows is on here, because on Rotten Tomatoes it has a 96%.
A 96%? It Follows?
Yeah.
I thought It Follows was fine, too. You know what It Follows kind of is up there with me? Is kind of up there with Hereditary for me.
Yeah.
I don't think Hereditary is nearly as good as people say it is.
I'm with you there.
It's okay. I hear people say I was okay. Oh, it must be on the list. I'm sorry.
Hereditary is actually the next movie, so we'll just do these two together.
Okay.
Because Hereditary is a 98%, but both these movies, they're fine. I'll watch them, but...
I've heard people say that they were terrified by Hereditary. I'm like, really?
How?
I was like,
I don't think I got scared once during either one of these movies.
To be fair,
I get the story, but they're not as good as people make them out to be.
Hereditary, again, I watched it and it was fine. I mean, there was that big oh shit moment when that kid's head popped off.
Yeah.
But in terms of scary, I don't see how people get scared of it. I mean, I mean, people get, to each their own, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But it's funny that I just thought Hereditary off the top of my head. But It Follows, I liked It Follows better than Hereditary.
Yeah, I'd definitely say It Follows probably better than Hereditary, but
maybe it's because maybe it's because It Follows was an actual entity that follows you around, and you actually got to kind of see it. Not that I have anything against horror that you can't see, but I don't know. I just kind of liked It Follows a little bit more than Hereditary.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, both these movies are fine, watchable, but people make them out like they're some of the best horror movies that have come out.
I'd put Hereditary maybe at like a 70, maybe 60 something.
Yeah, I'd say 71, 72 for Hereditary, and 74, 75 for It Follows. It's kind of where I'd put them.
I should have given another stipulation and have been like, all right, these are movies that are certified fresh, but you think should not be fresh, because you're still giving them kind of a certified fresh rating. These are just movies that you don't think are as good as the score says, basically.
Yeah, I haven't really got to the ones that I really dislike yet.
That's fine. Yeah. That's fine. Not a criticism. Again, this is just those we do our lists differently kind of thing. Yeah.
The next one, this movie's just not for me. I mean, we've talked about it.
Is this 6 or 5?
6.
Okay. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, this would be The Lighthouse.
Yay! I converted one.
I mean, it's just, the movie's not for me. I mean, the acting was good.
I think I told you
it's a good movie. Just, I didn't enjoy it.
The movie just seems very full of itself in terms of thinking that it's way smarter than it is.
Yeah.
Although, I don't know if it's the movie or if it's the people who I talk to about it who say it's like a master. I think. I will say this, and I think I told you this a couple days ago. If you took a random 10 to 15 second clip out of those movies, out of context, they are really funny.
Yeah.
But linearly, and again, I'm sure you were able to keep up and knew what was going on.
Yeah.
But it was just I get what's happening, and I get the metaphors and the allegories that they're all trying to say, but I don't know. It's just not nearly as big a masterpiece as everybody. The acting is good. I can say that the acting is good, but that doesn't mean that the movie itself was fantastic.
Yeah, and I get why it wasn't black and white, but if I want to watch a black and white movie, I'd watch a Vincent Price movie.
I don't mind black and white movies of nowadays, because black and white can give a movie a certain aesthetic. But I will say this about Robert Eggers is that I'm looking forward to seeing what he does with Nosferatu.
Yeah, that should be coming out later this year.
Yep.
So yeah, that'll be exciting to look out for. But yeah, this movie just didn't do it for me. Nothing against Robert Pattinson, William Dafoe. I mean, they were good.
In fact, I think this was one of Robert Pattinson's good acting kind of
performances,
deliveries. So
yeah. Also, I mean, maybe I missed some dialogue early on. But
that's why I said
watching it, the first dialogue didn't come into the movie until 7 minutes in.
That's why I think I need to rewatch it at least one more time just to see if I'm missing anything.
Yeah. But this movie just.
So what would you give it? What is it at, and what would you give it?
I mean, I'd put it right on that cusp of being 60 to 59%, right there.
Upper 50s.
Yeah, because I don't want to shit on too hard, because like I said, acting was good. Just I didn't enjoy the movie. Yeah, it's not good. So yeah, about upper 50s, maybe low 60s. movies. Moving on to now the top 5. This movie was just flat out boring.
Okay.
And kind of, I was a little bit disappointed in because I love horror movies and I'm a big pro wrestling fan. And this movie actually stars pro wrestler CM Punk.
Okay.
The Girl on the Third Floor.
I don't think I know this one.
It's rated 84%, but it's very slow. It's a boring watch.
What's it about? Would you say like a general?
Kind of like moving, like they move into this new house and kind of dealing with things that happened in the house before, and also dealing with things in their own past.
I'll look up the trailer.
Yeah, I just found this movie incredibly boring.
Okay, that's fair enough. Again, I'll have to look up the trailer to see what it's about. So you say it's boring. So you said it's 80-something%. What would you give it?
I would put it in 40%.
So a real jump, you would half that score.
Yeah, just a highly disappointing movie. I think we're on number
4.
I think we're on number 3. I think I miscounted somewhere because I only have 3 left on the list. Nope, you're right. Number 4. Can't believe I would have missed this movie.
Hey, I actually usually I'm the one that mixes up the numbers.
Yeah, scary stories to tell in the dark.
Yeah, it's definitely agree with you on that one.
Yeah, like this movie just falls flat. It could have been so much better than it was.
I think the thing that's disappointing with that one is that you see little sprinkles of stuff where it could have been great.
Yeah, and they go in a different direction than that.
What is it on Rotten?
77%.
Nah, I'd have to put that in that would probably fall at about a 50 for me.
Yeah,
right at the 50 mark.
Yeah, it definitely said about 50% on that. It's just not a good movie.
And go ahead.
Such good material to work with too.
The only reason I would give it as high as a 50 is because when the actual scary stories references happen, I know the references and some of the designs actually are pretty good. Like the Harold Scarecrow is actually pretty good. And the scene in the hospital where the woman in white, pale woman in white, is chasing after the kid, that was pretty creepy too. But it got bogged down. Oh, sorry. This is me talking when it should be you talking. So.
I mean, it just how they press everything for it to all fit together.
It shouldn't. I think they probably added too much. If anything, they put too much in that didn't need to be in.
Yeah.
Again, like the whole subgenre or the whole subplot about the kid dodging the draft, that served no purpose to the story.
No.
And it literally just should have been it should have been Trick or Treat, but with scary stories to tell in the dark.
Exactly. Moving on to the top 3. Number 3 is Gerald's Game.
Oh, that's disappointing because that's on my list of movies that I was going to be watching soon.
I mean, a lot of people like it. It's rated a 91, but it's just one of those movies that I couldn't get into. It's
the name
of the
director
for me.
The name of the director escapes me. It's the same one who did Midnight Mass and
was it Michael Flanagan?
Flanagan, yeah, I know that was a Michael Flanagan movie.
Good director. For the most part, I usually really like the stuff he does. Just this.
I still might have to watch it anyway.
Yeah, like I say, don't watch it, but I just know it wasn't my type of movie.
I do know that it all takes place. It's supposed to be taking place in one room, and it's all.
Yeah.
It's very much about her being trapped and not being able to go anywhere. I might. Something tells me I'd probably be a little bit more into it than you.
Yeah.
But that's the thing with these lists is that it's all opinion based.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. Yeah, I just couldn't get into this movie, so.
Sometimes it's. Yeah. I would imagine it's a psychological horror movie.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Yeah. So I don't know. Whenever I think of that, I think. Have you ever seen Jacob's Ladder?
I don't think I have.
Put that one on your list. Just it's a psychological thriller.
Okay.
I'd like to actually hear what you think about that movie.
All right, I'm gonna have to check that out.
Has Tim Robbins in it.
Yeah. Okay.
But all right, so Gerald's Game. What would you give it?
91. I'd probably put it in the 50s, 55, 56 range.
Was a little too slow for you, for your taste.
A little too slow for my taste.
That's fair.
Yeah, but you'd probably like it more than I did. So.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it was on my list. Plus, I've been becoming a really big Flanagan fan. So.
Yeah. All right. Number 2, Piranha 3D. For some reason, it is rated a 74 on Rotten Tomatoes.
It's just because of how ridiculous it is. It's a movie that knows it. That is the one with Christopher Lloyd in it, right? And they have Christopher Lloyd and Ving Rhames.
I think so, but I just remember this movie is not my. When it comes to a movie like this, I think there are better ones out there.
Not your kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
What would you say is a better type of movie in that kind of category?
Probably enjoyed Lake Placid better, and then Shark Night.
Okay.
Yeah, but the fact that this was rated at 74, and when I was watching it, I was like, I'd put this in the 30% category.
I'd have to rewatch it, but I think the reason why, if it's the same movie I'm thinking of, I think it was that high just because it's ridiculous and it knows it's ridiculous.
Yeah, which sometimes really does work, and we've gone over it a couple times during the podcast.
Mm-hmm. Movies that don't take themselves too seriously and know their premise is weird.
Yeah, this just didn't do it for me when you're doing that. So yeah, I'd put it in like the 30% range instead of the 74 it got.
So your number one, is it truly your number one, or does it just happen to land? It's just number one on the list.
I just can't stand this movie.
Not Piranha, but this upcoming one that you're about to say.
Yeah, and so many people talk about how good this movie is. And there's one reason I can't stand this movie. My number one movie on this list is The Babadook.
You know what? I was not as blown away by The Babadook as everybody else was too. Now, can I guess that one of the reasons is the kid?
It is terrible in this movie, and the story itself is not as good as everyone makes it out to be.
I do like the concept of grief being this monster.
Yeah.
And and I'm all for it's kind of like It Follows was a metaphor for chastity.
Yeah.
Because you basically passed it from person to person through sex, correct?
Yeah.
And I have no problem with taking emotions or taking like these metaphorical things and turning them into actual monsters. Yeah. But I kind of liked the idea of the Babadook being this kind of like scary fairy tale creature.
Yeah.
But what? So
that kid ruins the movie.
Is it honestly because of the kid?
I mean,
I gave that kid. He was on my hashtag Chris Hates Kid episode.
If it wasn't for the kid, I'd say this movie is overrated because I still didn't think the story is as good as everyone makes it out to be.
So even without the kid, it's still an overrated movie.
Yeah, I mean, it's rated 98%, and I would probably put it in like the low 80s range.
I was gonna say,
but then the kid just drops it down into like the 50s. Like
I was gonna say, I probably would have put it like at a 70 or something like that. I mean, it was fine. Here's Chris about to go on a kid hating tangent. I don't understand why you could have a good concept for a movie and then just feel the need to insert kids into it for no reason.
Yeah.
You could have had that movie as a woman dealing with her grief over her dead husband. Yeah. And it would have been a fine movie with the Babadook being this thing that she's avoiding. And that would have been fine.
Yeah.
But and it's so funny because when I was on Facebook back where you and me met on Facebook, that one thing, it was, I had posted what's the most annoying character in a movie, and overwhelmingly nearly thousands of people responded. It was like the kid from Babadook.
Yeah. Like maybe they should have casted the kid better. I don't know. Maybe he should have been directed a little bit better.
Or not have a kid at all.
Yeah. But if you have a kid, direct them to be able to just tone it down.
Because sometimes there is a lot of instances where it feels like these kids, their only direction is scream.
Yeah.
Scream, act scared.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if I wanted to just see, like a kid scream all day, I would just have a kid of my own.
I'd go watch my niece or nephews. I don't need to watch it in the movie. And that's why I don't get when people are like, oh, my favorite horror movie is The Babadook. I'm like,
now,
that's pretentious.
I will say this, I do like the look of the Babadook. The actual Babadook, I actually have a sticker on my laptop that is the Babadook.
Yeah, the look is good.
The design is cool.
Yeah, this movie could have been so much better than it is.
And again, they could have even still ran with the Babadook being like this metaphor for grief.
Yeah.
And I'd have still been fine with that.
Exactly.
But yeah, you and me, I'll agree with you on that one, although...
That's the reason I saved it for number one, because this...
Was Babadook an A24? Because it feels like it would have been.
I thought it was, but it's not.
It feels like it would have been like something that was made by the same people who did Hereditary.
Yeah. Like, I was about to be like, damn, I'm shitting on A24, because I thought I had 3 other movies on here, but Babadook isn't A24.
Yeah. Remember, I said that I had like my whole love-hate relationship with A24.
Yeah.
Like, I like a lot of their stuff, but some of their stuff doesn't really land for me.
Yeah.
But I still respect them for taking on projects that are, that a lot that a lot of studios won't touch. Because sometimes, it's like, they're trying something different, and I respect that.
Have you seen X yet, or no?
No, it's I don't remember the last thing I went and saw in theaters.
Now that it's like on demand to rent, I think I'm probably gonna check it out sometime.
If it's on demand, then I'll definitely watch it.
Yeah, I think right now it's on like $20 to rent on Amazon, but
I'll check it out then.
Yeah.
I'll be free later on tonight.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about that movie.
That was actually one A24 movie that I saw the trailer for. I'm like, you know what? I'm really into this. I can't wait to check this out. But yeah, decent list. Yeah, I didn't expect it to start off with saying, you know what? Screw Frankenstein.
Well, I started off with the movies I liked, but I just thought were overrated, and then just kind of worked my way into hate.
You just went down the line, which is fair.
Yeah.
Which now I'm sure you're anxious to get back to your top 10 favorite stuffs now.
Yeah, it hurts my heart to put hate in the world. So
leave the hating to me.
Yeah.
So I know mine's the hashtag Chris hates slashers. So I have to. There's so many to choose from that I'll have to be like, slashers are kind of difficult because some. Well, you know, I'll figure them out. I'm sure there's tons of slashers that I watch and I'm like, man, this was boring or this was awful.
Yeah.
All right, so you get a top 10 now.
Yeah.
I'm going to have you do your top 10. You know what? Since we're kind of ending it out with the whole slasher thing, how about your top 10 female villainesses?
Okay.
Your top 10 horror movie villainesses. Give you a little something to end out slasher era, the season of slasher.
Yeah.
So that was fun. So, like I said, we have, I mentioned this in the other video, we have Jamie Stewart coming up. We have Spencer Hamilton coming up. And at some point later on before the season ends, we will have a Slash Her book giveaway also in the works. And our last top 10 in Chris Hates to end out the season. And I think that will make for a pretty decent season.
Yep. This season, honestly, it's been a lot of fun.
Thanks again for joining us here on Body Bag. And we look forward to seeing you guys in the next couple episodes as we end it out.
Have a good day, everybody.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening to Body Bag Podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe and leave us a comment as to what you'd like to hear us review or any horror movie topics you'd like to hear us rant and rave about.
And while you're at it, you can find us on Twitter at BodyBagPod and on Instagram at BodyBagPodcast.
Thanks, and we'll see you next time.